Good afternoon YouTube and welcome back to the channel. I am the Celtic Cigar Enthusiast and today I'm going to show you some of the Cuban cigars that I have. So I've got some new ones arrived today and I had some already in the humidor that I hadn't really talked about yet on the channel, so I thought I'm just going to line them all up today for you and show you some of the Cuban cigars that I have and talk to you a bit about them. So the first one I'll talk to you about is ones that just arrived today, and it is these ones. These are the Cohiba Siglo 1 cigars, tubed. So I've got a pack of 3 here. So I'm quite excited about these ones. Cohiba are the flagship brand of Habanos, the company that supply Cuban cigars to various sort of places. If you're not familiar with the history of it, they started initially back in 1966 for Fidel Castro himself. They were created for Castro. Initially, they were only given away by the government for diplomatic functions, so visiting dignitaries, things like that. Whenever Cubans would go abroad and stuff, diplomats would give it to their guests and things like this. But it proved really popular. So in 1982, I believe it was, they became available for public sale, so you could just buy your Cohiba cigar as well from them. So I've got this little box here. This is me opening them for the first time actually. So let me just get a little knife and we'll cut the band thing at the top here. There we go. So you've seen the unboxing for the first time. So let me just put these down, we'll have a look. There we have it. So you can see here the 3 tubes and the iconic Cohiba colouring there. That horrible warning label, which I will take off before I put it in the humidor. So let's take a look at the cigars itself then. So nice little compact cigars, these ones. But you can see yourself, very nice looking. So the cigar itself is 4 inches in length with a 40 ring gauge. Full Cuban flagship brand, Cuban wrapper, Cuban binder, Cuban filler, hand-rolled cigar. These are at the very top end of what you can get from Cuba, the Cohiba brand. They are the flagship brand, they're the brand everyone talks about. They've got the prestige, they've got the Castro link themselves to them. Yeah, just amazing cigars really. I've only ever tried the Cohiba wide shorts, which I'll show you in a moment as well. So the wide shorts are very good. They're a machine-made Cuban and they're just sit above the sort of Purito size. They're just big enough to be classed as a cigar, but great for travelling. But I've never tried these ones before, the ones that are a bit thicker, the 40 odd ring gauge on these ones. But they're right up my street, to be honest. These are exactly the sort of dimensions of a cigar that I usually go for. So when I'm out in the pub, I've always mentioned it, I prefer the quick sort of cigars to the long burning cigars. I really like as well that this has got the tube on it, so I think that tube, as you can see they're lined in there as well. So I might keep these in the tube in the actual humidor, just unscrewed. But yeah, how nice is that? That really does look the part, that does. Yeah, so I've got 3 of these at the moment. Let's take these out all together. Let me show you the packaging for my American friends that don't usually get to see Cohibas. So that's the little tray that came out of it. Usual branding and stuff here. It's got the writing on the top here in very small print, which I'm struggling to read, but just some information about the Siglo 1 range itself. There we go. So that's the first 3 guys. Those are my 3 Cohiba Siglo 1 cigars. Okay guys, so next up some more Cohiba cigars. If you saw my last video, you'd have seen these ones. I talk a little bit about these when I got them delivered in the box as well. But these ones are the Cohiba wide short cigars. So they're a separate variant to an existing range that Cohiba do called the Cohiba shorts. The Cohiba shorts are very small cigars. I believe they're about a 24 ring gauge, more sort of Purito cigarillo size. I'm not that keen on cigars that small, to be honest, because I've mentioned before, it doesn't feel like I'm smoking a cigar when it's below 30 ring gauge. It feels like a cigarette just because it's, smaller, 15-minute smoke time. I don't really see the point. I want to enjoy a cigar, so that's why these ones, the wide shorts, are about as small as I'll go. So let me tell you about these ones then. The wide shorts are 4 inches in length, but they've got a 32 ring gauge. So up from the 24 ring gauge on the standard short range, these ones are 32. So as I mentioned, they do feel like you're smoking a cigar. They're fully Cuban, so Cuban wrapper, Cuban binder, Cuban filler. They've got the Cohiba branding on it, lovely little badge that Cohiba have. However, they are machine-made Cuban cigars, which is quite unusual for Cuba, for a brand like this. But yeah, machine-made Cuban cigars. Because of that, the price is very reasonable in the UK, surprisingly. This pack of 6 that I got here cost me around about the £30 British mark. And I've mentioned, for a Cohiba branded cigar with Cuban tobacco and that iconic wrapping, that's a great price to have 6 of these in your hand. So the cigars come individually wrapped from the factory, and they're pre-cut as well, so you don't need any cutter. Fantastic for travelling, and with these small sizes you can grab a couple if you're going to go on a night out and stuff, put 2 or 3 in your pocket. Great for travelling with just nice little sort of cigars. Smoke time though is still about 20 minutes on it, estimated time, so it's not like it's just like a quick 10-minute hit. You can, you know, savour that. That's enough time to enjoy it, 20 minutes, which is why I go for the wide ones rather than the regular shorts. But yeah, so that's the next ones, guys. That's the Cohiba wide short cigars. Next up, guys, we have this little one here. This is the Cuaba de Vinos cigar. So very striking shape on that one. Nice little Cuban banding on there as well. So these cigars are 4 inches in length with a 43 ring gauge, but they do vary. So as you're smoking it, you'll see it will change depending on the size of it, because that little bulge in the middle there. But 43 ring gauge it's classed as, and it's a medium to full cigar with a 30-minute smoke time. So Cuaba cigars are made in a distinctive shape known as a double figurado. So that's pretty much every cigar they do comes in that shape, just different sort of lengths of it. So you get ones that are a lot bigger, maybe 5 to 6 inches. This is pretty much one of the entry-level ones of Cuaba. But again, full Cuban, 100%, wrapper, binder, filler, hand-rolled. Nice little design though. This is quite a good quick smoke within the 30-minute range that I usually go for. So they've got a sealed foot and a sealed tip. You just snip the tip and then torch the foot. So nice little cigar, these ones. These ones are medium to full, which is unusual for a small Cuban cigar. You tend to find most Cubans of this gauge are classed as mild to medium, but this one is medium to full. So they say there is a lot of sort of texture to this one. So sort of nutty hints, coffee hints and things. I'll know as soon as I find out. I've never tried this one before, so these are all brand new cigars to me. I love when I get these new range of cigars in because it's just a world of discovery for me, to be honest. So I love it when I don't know what's coming. So yeah, that's that little one. So next one on the list, guys. This cigar is the Vegueros Mananitas cigar. So nice little mini torpedo cigar from Cuba, Cuban brand Vegueros. So let me tell you about this one then. This is a 4-inch length cigar with a 46 ring gauge. They're classed as medium to full, and it's got about a 35-minute estimated smoke time on this one. So the brand itself, Vegueros, that translates into English roughly as farmers, and it's quite a rustic cigar to reflect that. So from what I can see online, these are Cuban sort of smoothness to it, but with hints of pepperiness, a bit of spice to it, more earthy tones than what you would usually get on a mild Cuban cigar. They pretty much all come torpedo size, these little, torpedo shape, these particular brands. They do, again, various range of sizes in this one. This is sort of the entry level one that we have here. So yeah, so I've not tried too many torpedo cigars at all, really, so looking forward to trying this one. That's the Vegueros Mananitas. Next up, we have an absolute icon and a staple of every humidor. This is the Romeo and Julieta No. 2 cigar. I adore these cigars. These were the first ever cigars I ever tried. So not too bad to cut your teeth on an actual Cuban cigar, I believe. But yeah, that was the first ever cigar that I tried, was a No. 2 Romeo and Julieta. I've got 4 of these at the moment, so they all came tubed initially, but I keep one in the tube with the cap unscrewed in the humidor, and then I keep these 3 separate in the humidor just to sort of test out how the aging goes on it. So with these tubes, for example, they are cedar lined. So I keep this one in the humidor with the cap loose just to see if I can get more of that sort of cedar aging process on it. So I like to try and age that one, but these are the ones that I'll be smoking first. So let me tell you about these cigars themselves. They are 5 1/8 of an inch long with a 42 ring gauge. The iconic Romeo and Julieta banding there, red and gold. Beautiful design on those ones. These cigars are absolutely fantastic. They are the mildest cigars you could ever have. So smooth, zero pepper or spice to it at all. It's just cream, silk, velvety texture in your mouth. Lots of sweetness to it initially as well. You get bits of cinnamon, lots of cedar, especially if you age it in the actual tubes as well for a bit. Yeah, these are the ones that I keep coming back to, the Romeo number 2s. The first time I tried it, just fell in love with it. I've tried other ones since then. I've got a whole range, but these are the ones that I always look for when I'm in the mood for a Cuban cigar. I always go back to these guys. So they do 2 or 3 variants of it. So as I mentioned, this is the number 2 range, but there's a number 3 which is smaller in size and the number 1 which is larger in size, but I tend to find the number 2 is right where it's at for me. That just over the 5 inches in length with the 42 ring gauge. You get a smoking time of roughly about, I think the estimate is 30 minutes, but I savour these things. I don't take any less than usually 45 to 50 minutes on these. I am a slow smoker, but even if I wasn't a slow smoker, I would smoke these slowly because I just love every moment of it. The smell these things produce are just unreal. It's such a beautiful, rich, smooth Cuban smell. Everyone comments on it. They are just absolutely lovely. It's an eye catcher. I love these cigars. So yeah, that's my Romeo number 2s. Okay guys, so next up we have some more tubed cigars. These are the Punch Coronations. So very similar to the Romeo and Julietas. It's the same style, so it's the Mareva cigars. These are 5 1/8 inch long, exact same as the Romeos, and a 42 ring gauge, also the same as the Romeos. These ones though are medium. So the Romeos are mild to medium, these are medium strength cigars, with an estimated smoke time of about 30 minutes. Let me show you one of these outside the tube. So same again, you get the tube here from Punch with the cedar lining in it. So they're good to keep these in the humidor with a loose cap, and you can maybe get some of that cedar flavour into it as well, sort of infuse it in. So these cigars are one of the oldest brands in Cuba. I believe they've been making cigars since the mid-1800s, Punch. They're actually Arnold Schwarzenegger's brand of choice. He's a big cigar guy. I've seen things as well. He actually smokes them dipped in tequila, believe it or not. You check out YouTube, go search for that video because it's a great interview. It's a really good video. The guy's amazing. But it wouldn't be me doing that, soaking a cigar in tequila to smoke. But hey, if he enjoys it, I'm not going to tell him not to. But yeah, so Punch cigar here. Lovely, lovely cigar. So a bit more to it than the Romeos. They're not as smooth. They've got a bit of more character to it. In terms of the construction of it, they've got a flatter cap at the top. I think you can see that there. So the Romeos are more sort of domed. These ones are flat, so you get a really good draw on that. See if you do like a punch cut on the Punch cigar, because that's a flat cap, it just enhances the draw, I tend to find. So really, really good cigars, these ones. So they're actually made in the same factory as the Hoyo de Monterrey cigars. So I think it was 1930s they combined these two companies, so Hoyo de Monterrey and Punch, and they're now made in the same factory in Cuba. So a lot of quality goes into these cigars. These are one of the highest regarded brands in Cuba, along with the Cohiba brand as well. Yeah, so these are premium, really good cigars, these ones. So yeah, that's those ones, guys. Next up for us, guys, we have another Romeo and Julieta cigar. This one is the Romeo and Julieta Cedro Deluxe number 2 cigar. So if you can remember the video that I did on my trip to Edinburgh, I went to La Casa de Habano supplier in Edinburgh that has a cigar terrace, and I tried an exclusive Cedro Deluxe version with them. That one was a little bit longer than this and a thicker gauge. It was about a 50 gauge on that one. This one is more of the standard range that you get everywhere, not just from La Casa del Habano. So this is a standard Cedro Deluxe version. So this cigar itself is a 5 5/8 of an inch, so slightly longer than the tubed Romeos that I have. 42 ring gauge, and they class it as medium strength. The big selling point with these ones are these wraps that they come in. This is a cedar wrap that comes with the cigar itself. So the idea behind it is if you put that in the humidor and age it, you've got this cedar wrap feeding into the already cedar infused cigar pretty much. So that should enhance the flavour of it, so you get a lot more character on these ones than you do on the Mareva class ones. These are classed as Coronas, and there's a 30-minute smoke time on these ones. In terms of the flavour profile, they're said to be very, very woody, but it's a sweet wood. It's not, you know, like the oak sort of thing to it you get, which can be a wee bit harsh at times. This, being cedar wrapped, is a sweet sort of woodness to it. It's slightly peppery as well, hints of sort of earthiness to it, and walnuts, that kind of thing. Yeah, nice cigar. The exclusive that I'd tried in Edinburgh, the bigger size of that, was fantastic. I'll need to actually buy another one of those again, because they do sell them on their websites here. But this is a standard one. I've not tried the standard one before, so I'm going to give this a go and see how it compares to the bigger brother that I had a few months back. Yeah, so that's the Romeo number 2 Cedros Deluxe. Now we move on to the very last Cuban cigar that I have in my collection, and it's the biggest one, which I've kept for last. This one is the Hoyo de Monterrey La Hoyo del Rio Seco cigar. So, big cigar name for a big actual cigar gauge itself. So this one is a 5 7/8 of an inch with a 56 ring gauge. It's a light bodied cigar with a smoke time of 45 minutes. So I bought this through in Edinburgh in Scotland when I visited the La Casa del Habano Puffin Room Cigar Lounge. So that's when I tried the exclusive Cedros Deluxe. I've got a video on that, check that out guys. But I purchased this as well before I left, just as a little keepsake. I said to the guy in the shop, I'm looking for a light to medium Cuban cigar with a sweetness to it, and this was his top recommendation, this particular cigar here. So in terms of the tasting notes on it, it's got a floral bouquet, lots of sort of nice light floral smells to it. It's got hints of sort of nuts, chocolate, oak, hints of graham cracker as well, nice even burn to it. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. I've had that in the humidor for about 3 months now, so I'm aging it at the moment. I'm going to leave it a little bit longer. I don't want to rush it. I want to sort of make sure I age this to get the most out of the profile. But yeah, so that is my entire Cuban collection that I have in my humidor. So let's count them up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 Cuban cigars in my collection. So that was built up over the course of a couple of months. Generally when I buy a New World cigar, whether that be a box or a pack or just a single New World cigar, I usually go and buy myself a little Cuban cigar as well, and I save that so that I can sort of build up a collection of New World and Cubans like I have at the moment. So I've got around about 20 New Worlds as well. I've got packs of Quorum, I've got my Davidoff Petit Panatellas, I've got the Oliphant, things like that. So I've got a good mix of rest of the worlds, New Worlds, and now my Cuban selection as well. So the point of this channel is to find affordable but quality smokes. That's what I've got in my actual tagline for the channel itself. I would love to go out and start buying £100 British for single cigars, but that would defeat the purpose of this channel. These cigars, although they're Cuban, price-wise they're very achievable. So this one here, the Siglo one for example, is around about £35 British. The machine-made ones are £35 for the entire pack. These ones are about £20 British each. The tube cigars are about £25, and then these ones are the sort of £30 British mark. So not overly expensive. They are definitely achievable. Over the course of a few weeks you could build up a good collection as well if you're buying one a week for example. But yeah, so that's all the Cubans that I have. So I'll get those smoked over the coming months. I've been saving these for special occasions, but I don't see the need to be honest. I think it's just because Americans save them because they're really hard to get over there. And I've got in the habit of thinking that you have to save the Cuban cigars, but I can replace these fairly easily in the UK. You just walk into a shop and buy them. So yeah, I'm going to start smoking a lot more Cubans on the channel soon. I'm going to work my way through these little ones here. So stay tuned, keep subscribing guys. Thank you very much for supporting the channel so far. And I'll catch you on the next video.